Anthony Joshua might choose to not fight Oleksandr Usyk. Eddie Hearn has just claimed that Anthony Joshua is weighing in if he should fight Dylan White in the Wembley Stadium or a trilogy fight against Andrew Ruiz Jr. over here in the United States. So what do I think about this? Look, if Anthony Joshua vacates the WBO to fight either Dylan White, a man he's already beat brutally, and Andrew Ruiz, a man he's already beat comfortably, it's going to look horrible on his career, and I'm going to go at him for it. Because we all know right now, this is the top 4 heavyweights in the world right now. Number 1 or 2. Of course it's number 1, because he just came off being the number 2 best heavyweight. And that's Tyson Fury. Number 2 is Anthony Joshua. Number 3 is Deontay Wilder. And number 4 is Oleksandr Usyk. If you can't fight Fury or Wilder, the next best thing to do is to fight Usyk. If he avoids to fight Usyk and fights Andrew Ruiz Jr., a guy who, frankly, a 41-year-old Chris Arreola looked more than great against. Frankly, a 41-year-old Chris Arreola dropped easily. Frankly, a 41-year-old Chris Arreola, if he was in his prime, he would have stopped Andrew Ruiz Jr. He would have. A prime Chris Arreola had all the stamina in the world. That was Chris Arreola's downfall in the fight. He just didn't have the stamina to stop Andrew Ruiz. He couldn't keep that pace up for more than 4 rounds, even though he was in the best shape of his life. But Chris Arreola, he was always that type of guy that even if he was very fat, he still had good stamina. Andrew Ruiz has the same exact thing. He's a pretty fat guy, but with good stamina. If you're fat in your whole life and you're out of shape for your whole life, once you get older, you will lose your stamina. So I've always, I used to walk to work every day. Walk back and forth 45 minutes. And I used to work at a restaurant. I used to study and work at a restaurant. And I didn't have a car at the time. So, and I was always, at that time I was 250, 260 pounds. And I'm only 5'11", 6 foot. So it's not like I'm a tall guy. So I was pretty fat. But still, because I used to walk every day and always have that cardio every day, I still had the stamina to go 7-8 rounds comfortably. Like I used to spar sometimes. I used to spar with my little brother. I always had the stamina to go far. Stamina was never an issue. But if you get older, the older you get, if you didn't take care of your body, even if you start getting in shape, it's not going to matter anymore. You saw what happened to Lucas Brown in his last fight. Lucas Brown, his whole career has been out of shape. He got knocked out by a rugby player. Prior to that, he got knocked out to a body shot by Dave Allen. Frankly, Dave Allen is a journeyman. We all know that. He's a guy with a record of 18 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws. He made David Price look like Vladimir Klitschko. Dave Allen is not a good fighter, but he caught the overweight, older champion. Lucas Brown in his heyday was a champion. Don't forget, Lucas Brown beat Ruslan Shagayev. And he knocked out Ruslan Shagayev. He retired Ruslan Shagayev. And if anyone wants to tell me Ruslan Shagayev was a horrible fighter at that time, he came out, he was coming off a first-round knockout over Francisco Piñata. The same Francisco Piñata that took Tyson Fury the distance back in 2018. So now let's get back to the topic. If Anthony Joshua chooses to fight Andrew Ruiz Jr. or Dylan White, that'd be very disappointing. Dylan White is just last year he got brutally knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. You know he's right there for the taking. Andrew Ruiz Jr., he hasn't had a good win since June of 2019. So if he goes that route, I'll be very disappointed. I'll get on my channel and I'll attack him. And you guys know I attack everyone when they fuck up. If you duck Oleksandr Usyk, who's your mandatory and who deserves 25% of the pie, if you duck him, I will get on your ass, AJ. You should not. It's very embarrassing for a guy like Eddie Hearn to go out and say, well, we might choose easier options than the fight we got right now. Oleksandr Usyk scrapped his fight versus Joe Joyce to open himself up to fight the champion, Anthony Joshua. If Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder draw again, because they've drawn before, don't be shocked if they draw again, and Anthony Joshua beats Usyk comfortably, everyone will say Anthony Joshua is the number one fighter in the heavyweight division. But if Anthony Joshua fights Andrew Ruiz Jr., who's looked horrible in his last two fights, it's not like Andrew Ruiz Jr. just came off a brutal knockout defeat over Chris Arreola. No, he looked horrible against Chris Arreola. I thought we were about to see an upset in the first 4 rounds. Because Andrew Ruiz, some people are saying it was a flash knockdown in round 2. I'm going to give that to them. But round 3, Andrew Ruiz was hurt. His knees almost touched the ground and he was hurt. He barely made it out of round 3. Dillian Whyte was knocked out brutally by a 43-year-old man against Oleksandr Povetkin. Just one fight ago. And Oleksandr Povetkin has been looking shaky for years now. Last time he looked good was back in 2015 when he knocked out Mike Perez in 1 round. Even in 2018, prior to when he fought AJ, he got hurt badly by David Price. I know David Price has power, but David Price is not a good fighter. He does not know how to place his punches together. He shouldn't have hurt Oleksandr Povetkin. Oleksandr Povetkin, as I said, has not looked good since 2015. Maybe you could say he had a good performance against Johan Duhaupas in 2016. But ever since then, he's been struggling with everyone. Michael Hunter almost got him out of there in round 1. So for Dillian Whyte to get knocked out by Oleksandr Povetkin, who's been looking horrible for years, and Anthony Joshua considering fighting Dillian Whyte, a guy who he's beat before. It's crazy. And Dillian Whyte, everyone's saying Dillian Whyte did good. Dillian Whyte landed 1 good punch the whole fight against Anthony Joshua. Joshua only lost 1 round at best. I wouldn't even be mad if he said Anthony Joshua won every single round against Dillian Whyte. He almost had Dillian Whyte out of there in round 1. If it wasn't such a big pay-per-view fight, some referees would have stopped that fight in round 1. Because Dillian Whyte's legs were everywhere. The second Anthony Joshua landed, his legs went everywhere. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think that the Andrew Ruiz trilogy or the Dillian Whyte rematch are more intriguing than a fight against the number 4 rated Oleksandr Usyk, and in most people's eyes, a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Let me know what you guys think, and like and subscribe, of course. Sadiq Boxing, out.